Lawyers, what detail did your client fail to bring up that 100% lost you the case? Story 1. A friend of mine is a lawyer, and he said that a client once turned up to court in the actual same outfit he was wearing in the burglary. When the CCTV footage came up in evidence, the client looked down at himself and was like, oh crap. Yeah, this guy was just not meant to get off with it. If he truly didn't remember, then the world just has it out for him. Story 2. Not a lawyer yet, but I clerked for a DA's office throughout law school. Obviously, we don't have clients, but I'll never forget this kidnapping case I worked on. It involved 2 Asian male defendants who were both the same age and looked relatively similar. A witness was on the stand and was asked to identify where the defendant who pushed an Uzi to his face was seated. It's clear the witness was having trouble differentiating the defendants. In a true moment of brilliance, one defendant raises his freaking hand and basically points to himself like, right here, bud. Hands down, the dumbest crap I'd ever seen. I thought his defense attorney was going to have a brain aneurysm. Story 3. I actually am a lawyer, but I was only watching this trial, not participating. The case was that Woman A had hit Woman B in the head with a heavy beer pint at a bar, and Woman B got a pretty serious injury. The defense claimed that Woman A had not hit anyone with the pint, but instead had just thrown the pint into a random direction, and it happened to hit B in the head. Thus, it was an accident and not battery. Well, the prosecution had a CCTV tape from the bar, and it was shown at the trial. The tape clearly showed in HD, as they walked behind B, she smashed the pint to her head so hard that the pint shattered on impact. I looked at the defense lawyer, and his jaw literally almost hit the table. The prosecutor also noticed this and asked something along the lines of thrown, and the defense lawyer said that due to technical difficulties, he couldn't get the CCTV tape open on his computer when he was reviewing the evidence. Woman A was found guilty. So yeah, I was completely dumbfounded. Story 4. I'm a court-appointed attorney for qualifying individuals in family matters, termination of parental rights case. I have been fighting to argue that a parent is stable, working lawfully, and has a suitable apartment, as well as not needing psychotropic meds anymore, ready to be a parent, etc. After a few months of negotiating with all the parties and Department of Children, we have a pre-trial to try and convince guardians. I meet with my client before the hearing to see if anything changed. Nope, all good. Let's get my kids. Great, that's not happening today, but let's try. We get into court. My client, who is super hot-headed and quick to anger, gets riled up and goes off on the guardians, screaming in open court. But oh, it doesn't end there. It is revealed that they are no longer working, no longer in an apartment, doesn't want to have a relationship with the guardians despite her kids loving them, won't send her kids pictures of the toys they miss and can't have, plans on moving out of state, thinks they can live as a family off of state aid when she gets them back, and is 4 months pregnant, all in the matter of 15 seconds. I was too shocked to even react. Just speechless. Not the image of stability and parental fitness I've been trying to paint since last July. This is honestly just the universe doing the kids a solid. Opie's client seems like they were not ready to have kids ever. Story 5. Not my client, but the son of the opposing party, and presumably the party himself lied about being blind to make himself seem more sympathetic as a witness. We didn't know either until he took the witness box. Their counsel asked him to take the oath, and he picked up the card and read it. That was the cherry on top of a series of ridiculous events. The judge dismissed the whole thing in our client's favor shortly after. I was a trainee at the time, but my boss, who was in her late 60s, then said it was the most ridiculous case she'd ever handled. Story 6. I was involved in a hit-and-run car accident. My leg was pretty mangled. However, the driver of the car was caught. Turns out he was a rich kid who was driving his mom's convertible Porsche, denied all knowledge of hitting me, etc. At the trial, the prosecutor asked him how long he had been driving, to which he answered, "Do you mean how long have I been driving legally or illegally?" The judge then went nuts asking why, and when he had been driving illegally. His defense team sat down in their chairs and shook their heads. Needless to say, he lost the case. Interestingly, he died a year later by drowning. He had hired a speedboat on holiday, flipped it over, and drowned. Turns out he was drunk at the time. Karma can be a jerk. Story 7. Not a lawyer, but my parents had a long messy divorce that took 2.5 years in court. My dad claimed that my mother was trying to take 100% of everything based on a settlement offer she sent him. He failed to mention to his lawyers that her initial offer, also sent to his previous lawyer, was a 60-40 split. She only sent that 100% one in response to an equally unreasonable offer from him. As soon as she could prove that initial offer was reasonable, the judge just basically ruled on everything according to that first offer. His lawyers were so angry because they built their entire case around the idea that she was the unreasonable one. I think it was something to do with arguing that she was not sending genuine settlement offers. I'm not sure why his goal wasn't to win, it was to prolong the battle. But the original offer exposed him in the lie in front of the judge, which made the rest of the process go very quickly. I don't get what people expect. Do they expect these things not to come up in court? Do they think they can just lie about the circumstances to their lawyers? They're trying to help you with everything they've got. Why would you lie to them? That's so stupid. This guy got what he deserved. Story 8. Not me but my mentor. This is the reason you never ask questions that you don't already know the answer to in court. During the trial with the judge on a divorce matter, The wife brings up that her husband had abused her during the course of their marriage. The client whispers to my mentor that that is absolutely not true. On the stand during his portion of testimony, my mentor asks, "At any point in the marriage, did you lay your hands on your wife?" One time, we were having an argument, and I held her down on the couch until she stopped arguing with me. What? My mentor said it was like she could see it happening in slow motion, and all the alarm bells were going off in her head, because he had never mentioned this before, and apparently to him, this wasn't abuse. The judge gave the wife a lot more money as a result, and the husband was just baffled. My mentor was fuming. Appreciate you sticking around. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more content.